So tomorrow on the show, I am going to talk about a new poll. This is not some wacky poll. It is a serious poll from a good pollster that has Joe Biden 21 points ahead of Donald Trump nationally. And I'm going to tell you, we should pretend as though that poll doesn't exist and we have to go and vote. But that's tomorrow. Today, I want to talk about Arizona. There is a stunning new poll. This is out of Arizona, where Joe Biden is reportedly ahead of Donald Trump by 8 points, which is Biden's largest lead in Arizona in recent memory. Now, of course, this is just one poll. In an average of recent polls, Donald Trump is now trailing Joe Biden by 3.4 points on average in Arizona. Still nothing huge, nothing certain. But that 8-point lead in the latest poll, the only poll that we had recently, is very, very important. And in similar news from Arizona, sort of in the same poll, Democratic challenger Mark Kelly is leading incumbent Republican Senator Martha McSally by 11 points. That pulls Mark Kelly's lead to an average of 6.6. There was a debate, I believe it was last night, between Mark Kelly and Martha McSally. Cringeworthy performance by Martha McSally. She was actually asked multiple times, because she's kind of been a Trumpy, right? She was asked, are you proud of what Donald Trump has done? She refused to answer. It was absolutely cringeworthy. She embarrassed herself. And the reason that these polls are so compelling and noteworthy is that if you look at the history of Arizona in presidential elections, you see that the last time a Democratic presidential candidate won Arizona was 1996. That's 24 years ago when Bill Clinton defeated Bob Dole and won the presidency. And before 1996, the last time a Democrat won Arizona was 1948. In the last 72 years, a Democrat has only won Arizona twice. If these numbers were to hold in Arizona and Joe Biden wins by 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it would be a signal that it is going to be a very bad night for Donald Trump. Now, on the other hand, if it goes differently, it could be a perfectly fine night for Donald Trump. Important to know for our friends in Arizona, the last day to register to vote in Arizona was Monday, so that date has passed. Other important dates, absentee ballots are being mailed out today, October 7. Early in-person voting will begin very, very soon. Dates and hours may vary based on where you live. Contact your county for details about in-person early voting locations and hours of operation. The last day to request a ballot for absentee, assuming you're already registered, will be October 23rd. Weekend voting will happen on October 24th. And very, very important for our Arizona friends, if you plan to mail your ballot, you have to mail it by October 27. Must be postmarked by October 27. This is very important. In some states, as long as you mail the ballot by Election Day, it will count. That is not the case in the very important state of Arizona. You must mail the ballot by October 27. And then, of course, November 3rd, in-person voting, Election Day, every single state. We will be there. So what do we take away from these new polls in Arizona that show Joe Biden in an increasingly strong position? They show Mark Kelly in an increasingly strong position against Martha McSally. The polling tells us only that we have an opportunity to make some real change here. The polling tells us that we must vote. The polling tells us that our vote can actually make a change happen in our country. That if you imagine a big cruise ship, very, very difficult to redirect, takes a while, right? Big, heavy, massive object. We're trying to reorient it a few degrees, just a few degrees. If you leave the port of Boston heading towards Europe, a few degrees of difference here is the difference between ending up in the UK versus ending up in Morocco. All right. That's the metaphor. That's the analogy. Please and thank you. Let's all vote. Let's all make this happen.